Yes, and it has nothing to do with anything, and it'll go right back down again. And the reason they are allowing the market to go down from 10,800 to where it's at, just around 10,000, up from 9,900, is because they need the money to come out of the stock market and go into treasuries. Otherwise, they have to go to the Fed to create money out of thin air, which they did last year by taking down 80% of all the treasury paper. And they don't want to have to do that again because it's very inflationary, and it would be better if they could find a way for people to buy treasuries.
Well, tomorrow
there's no way out of the box that they're in, and it's just going to get worse and worse. Rob?
Tomorrow we get. He was supposed to testify before Congress, but I guess because of the snow, he's not going to be testifying. But he will give his prepared remarks about the Fed's exit strategy.
And who is this, Mr. Bernanke?
Yep.
Oh, so
the helicopter person.
So we have a snow day in Washington yesterday, about 3 feet. So we're going to get the snow job tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, the good
you sound like an old vaudevillian.
The good news is Washington is shut down for the week, so.
Yeah, I did that on a program in Madison, Wisconsin this morning, and the host couldn't stop laughing. I said, we've been down for 2 days. Thank God. They can't do any damage for 2 days.
Well, but that didn't stop Barack Obama from doing his press conference today, his feel-good press conference. Don't you know that he is... he's now talking with the Republicans and Democrats, and they came willingly, and this is a bipartisan issue, and the main theme of this is that we're going to create jobs. You know,
it's a love fest.
Yeah, I'm telling you, well, more to my way of thinking, it's like a Chinese fire drill, but again, to the people out there that are needing and wanting jobs and don't understand how free enterprise works, they think that's good news. Oh, the president's going to create the jobs he's been promising. And he went right back. And here's the problem. These temporary work programs that cost more money than what it should, it's all fine and dandy to build and repair roads and bridges and the infrastructure and all that stuff. But that's an ongoing thing that should be done with tax money, not a last-ditch attempt, no pun intended, to put people to work, because that's a public works program. That money goes to employ some people. It gives them a little spending money for a little while, and then the thing that they do doesn't produce anything. You know, how much rhetoric have we heard about helping the small business people out there? How's that coming along? And again, it's the same old tired retread of the last Depression and what Franklin Delano Roosevelt did. Probably for too long. The expert opinion was, it's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt a lot. But the same thing should have been done during the last Depression as this Depression. You let the bad stuff go. You let it go.
Well, you see,
and that includes all the major banks, the brokerage houses, the insurance companies. And it has to happen because it's going to happen anyway, no matter what they do.
But you see, this is Greece's problem. This is the problem they're having in Greece. Why is Greece in such a hole? Greece is in such a hole because obviously they have all these government programs to protect people from cradle to grave. They cannot afford them any longer. And if they cut any of the programs, they are threatened with civil unrest. That's the catch-22 situation for Greece.
And most of Europe.
And for the U.S., because if you look at that stimulus plan, it is an extension of unemployed benefits. It's tax credits to small businesses who hire people.
Grease is the word. They're moving and grooving. Hey, we got to take the break, guys. We'll be right back. We'll invite your calls. 800-313-9443. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Just had to let that go for a minute there. I feel so upbeat today. Gentlemen, there are things that are happening with this network. Mr. Chapman, I know you're so doggone busy. I look at your email, And you do Gold Seek Radio, and Sam Bushman and Dale Williams and John Bryant, Dr. Stan Monteith, Maria Heller, Power Hour, Pat Gorman, Alex Jones, Butch Paul, Erskine Overnight, Drew Rains, Kevin Gallagher, and John McGowan, Bruce McDonald, Rob Johnson, Ruben Torres, Farron Schoaf, Derek Dreamer, and did I miss anybody?
George Norrie.
George Norrie. By the way, thank you for mentioning that.
I wrote a piece for him today to see if he wants to use it on the program. He requested it. It's about the Internet.
Uh-huh.
And it'll be on Saturday's issue.
Great.
They're trying to give the Internet away.
Yes, that has been a hot topic on the airwaves today. Well, Dr. Don Runamaker and Dr. John Hall, they were on Norrie overnight last night, and I think we got mentioned about a half a dozen times, Republic Broadcasting. So I appreciate Mr. John Hall and the book that he wrote. Scared the hell out of me. Brought him up last Thursday with all the stuff that the satellites can now do. Mind control, you name it. And this guy is a legitimate medical doctor and an anesthesiologist, not given to conspiracy theory. But they started going after his girlfriend down in San Antonio with experimentation. Unbeknownst to him, he wasn't out there and any problem. She was just randomly picked, and, well, they were cooking her little brains. So the one thing that you don't want to do is start experimenting and then having a medical doctor sitting by and watching all of what's going on. And the stuff that he's come up with is just absolutely, it'll turn your hair gray. Well, all of ours already is, but.
Yeah, chance with me.
Yeah. So,
and I got to ask Bob about this. Besides the very strange action that went on in the gold market yesterday, we had the futures market closing up $12 and the cash market closing down 10. And obviously this all ties in with Greece because you had Trichet. I mean, this started early this morning around 2 o'clock when it was announced that Trichet had cut short his Australian visit and was flying back to deal with the bailout of Greece. And a story that none of the networks covered, financial networks, was that over the weekend there was what they are referring to as Jekyll Island 2 was taking place in Australia with the heads of all the world central bankers at the same time that the G7 were meeting in the Arctic.
It's a good place for them to meet in the Arctic.
Yes. But what about
hopefully
the meeting?
There's a lot of polar bears around.
But what about the meeting in Australia, Bob?
Yeah, it was in my publication that it was coming, and I knew about it. And it's a BIS meeting that was planned a long time ago. And, of course, they're not going to tell you what's going on. Anything comes out of there is, just plain lies. But we'll find out. We have our sources. You're right about Trichet. And later today, the Germans said that there will be talks about the possibility of aiding Greece. And they have finally decided that it's not time to take the system down. And so they will sprinkle a little credit here and there, but the austerity program that will be put upon Greece, like Ireland already, will be anointed upon Portugal and Spain as well, before they get in the same kind of problems. And if Italy continues its wayward ways, they will get the same treatment. Now, what that's going to do is virtually choke the GDP of Europe. The only ones that will come out okay probably are Germany. France will hang on by its fingertips, the same as Belgium. Holland will do well. Sweden will do well. And Denmark's they're running into problems. And, of course, Britain is a hopeless case. And they're trying to hold on here. They don't want to go to the deflationary plug pulling yet, obviously. And so, as I said earlier, I saw those long positions in $1, and all of these things that we know now, they were all known 6 months to 2 years ago. And so this whole thing was timed more than anything else to make money for the United States government in that market, as well as other governments who tagged along, and these people on Wall Street. Now what they're doing is they're selling their long positions, and once they're out of them, they'll start shorting. And this time, 74 will not hold because it was a phony rally, and we'll test 71.18 on the USDX.
Talk about timing. We'll take this break. We'll come back on the other side, start to roll your calls. 800-313-9443. We'll be right back.